Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bar City Radio for the 2022 Somerset Premier Cup final between Yeovil Town and Bar City, live from Hewish Park. I'm Mark Stillman, commentating throughout with Bob Chester on summarising duties. It's the Romans' final outing of the season and the opportunity to gain some bragging rights against their long-standing rivals in this 272nd meeting between the two. While these derbies were previously commonplace since its first in 1901, this is the first competitive fixture between the sides since 2008 and only the fifth this century. The two are locked on 24 successes each in this competition, but none since the 2000s. After Yeovil's Football League adventure ended in 2019, they've taken this cup more seriously, with City following suit, fielding strong lineups against lower league sides to land in their first final in 14 years. The Glovers' league campaign finishes on Saturday at Altrincham, and some see that game as the end of an era, with several players out of contract and uncertainty over a projected takeover. Caretaker boss Charlie Lee will be keen for silverware, but as will former Yeovil man Jerry Gill in this intriguing-looking final. So then, Bob, you must be looking forward to this one, I presume.
Good evening, buddy. Yes, after quite a long journey that took far longer than it should be. That's why we're kicking off at 8 o'clock, not 7:45. Yeah, it's always good to get to a cup final. Not that it happens all the time for Bar City, but I think this competition, particularly in the last couple of years, but more so this season, has taken a bit more of a front seat rather than the back seat of previous years.
The players are now lining up alongside a banner indicating that this is the final. Bar City in black and white shirts, black shorts and black socks. Yeovil in their traditional green and white shirts, white shorts and white socks. Teams doing the customary handshake. That gives me an opportunity to go through the starting lineups. I believe Yeovil Town are playing 3-4-3. In goal is Grant Smith, a back three of Morgan Williams, Max Hunt and Ben Barkley, and then a midfield four of Jordan Barnett, Josh Staunton, Sonny Blue Everton and Lawson Diath, and then a front three of Tom Knowles, Ruben Reid and Josh Nerfil. On the bench for Yeovil, Max Evans, Matt Worthington, Charlie Wakefield, Alex Bradley and Jack Robinson. Bar City are playing 3-4-1-2. In goal is Ryan Clark. I think it'll be a back three of Joe Rains, Dan Ball and Zach Delaney. Eddie Jones right wing back, Elliot Freer left wing back with Tom Smith and Omar Holness in the middle, and then Tom Richards back in his first start for a while, playing behind Cody Cook, and Alex Fletcher is still vying for Golden Boot. On the bench of our City tonight, just Will Fuller and Dave Sims-Burgess. The referee is Scott Jackson. He'll be assisted by Ryan Blackman and Christian Gould, and the fourth official is Will Payne. Yeovil are going to get the game underway. They'll be attacking from left to right. Referee Scott Jackson checks that everything is in order. And away we go. Long ball forward from Barkley. Searching ball, which is headed away by Rains. Smith heads it back to Rains uncomfortably, and he hammers it high into the air towards halfway, where Fletcher is beaten in the air from Barkley, on loan from Middlesbrough. Now picked up from Reid, who's our new substitute on Saturday. Now with Nerfil down the left-hand side, trying to skip the other side of Rains. He's going to keep the ball in, no, just about slips. He tries to keep the ball in by the byline, and there's a big cheer from the horde of our City fans. It looked rather embarrassing, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. 0-0, 30 seconds gone. Richards picks it up almost on the centre spot. On a run forward, manages to shrug off Everton, finds Eddie Jones on the right-hand side. Looking for Fletcher near the penalty spot and ghosted him behind, but I think there's a bit of a push on Williams, and regardless it goes wide anyway. Yeah, so ball forward to Knowles on the right-hand side. Yeovil's player of the year, cuts inside and slides it through onto the edge of the box, where it's a chance and a shot in the end from Everton, and it goes over the bar, out for a goal kick. Knowles on the right-hand side, turns inside a Freer, who slips and gets the ball looking for the back post, and fully cleared in the end from Rains, only as far as Barnett. Decent ball, it's looking for Hunt, it lands kindly, it's a chance of Yeovil, and they've broken the deadlock early. It's Morgan Williams, who was credited with a goal on Saturday. There's no doubt that one is his. He drove it through Ryan Clark, he got two hands on it. It wasn't enough. 7 minutes. First goal in the Somerset Premier Cup final goes the way of the host. Yeovil 1, Bar City 0.
Yeah, the goal scored as the ball bouncing around the box up in the air, came down, and he had quite a bit of time to control it, but it was actually a fairly mishit shot. But he still had enough power and accuracy to beat Ryan Clark. He had a lot of time to do that. and that puts the home side, who have been pretty dominant in the opening 7 minutes, and puts them 1-0 up in the Somerset Premier Cup final. Not the start City wanted.
Frey might want to try and get to the byline, skips the other side of his man, gets it across, and it's well chested down from Barkley, and can get it away from Knowles. Now the goal scorer Williams. Intercepted well from Holness to Smith, midway inside his Yeovil half. Now to Fletcher, inside the penalty area, couldn't quite bring it under control, and Hunt was there to cover. He reacted positively to falling a goal behind in the Somerset Premier Cup final. That looked like handball for Reid. The assistant doesn't think so, and now he's bursting clear down the right-hand side. Rains is keeping up with him. Reid's shot takes a huge deflection and skies into the air for Ryan Clark. I thought he controlled that with his arm.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way, and the only person who didn't think that was the assistant.
Poor ball, easily intercepted from Smith on halfway. Now Cook inside to Richards, but he's robbed. Barkley atones for his error. Now Diath, there's a petulant kick from Smith, but Diath has ignored it and starting an attack with Knowles on the right hand side, and that's a foul from Delaney. It could be a yellow card actually. He was very late on Knowles, and indeed the card is out for Zach Delaney. Can't really have too many complaints about that. No. Knowles has stayed down. One-man wall for City. It's about 18 yards out, tight to the right touchline. Floats it in near the penalty spot. It's headed away from Ball. And Cook with a follow-up one ahead of Reid, and it's so you can put that down as a shot from Knowles. It's about 10 yards over the top of the bar.
The first time that Freer took on Knowles, he did beat him. Didn't get the best cross though, but I think Knowles is determined to make sure that he's in control of these situations.
Fletcher back to Freer inside the penalty area, over to the far side. It's just too high for Cody Cook, and it goes out of play for a goal kick. They worked that well down the left, and the ball was just a little bit too high from the semi-final hero. We're in possession now with Barkley on the edge of his penalty area. Reid closed down, plays it up to Reid. Now Knowles up to Nerfield. Trying to run it Delaney. Near the corner of the penalty area, Nerfield. Back to Knowles, and he fires it about 3 or 4 yards over the bar. I think Clark had it covered. It was a stinging drive, a lot of power, but direction was lacking.
Yeah, a little bit high, but yeah, that was well worked, swift move there, and I think the next goal is going to be vital. If City can get it, well, they'll be back in this game.
So not as congested as it could be. Freer swings it in. Rains gets a header on. It's now Smith. Smith shoots, and he just puts it wide into the side netting. It rippled the net, but it wasn't inside it.
Yeah, that's a good chance there, really. Would have liked it to have been on target, but yeah, first time that Yeovil goal has been under real threat.
It's Grant Smith's first outing in the Somerset Premier Cup. It's usually Max Evans who deputises him, a backup keeper. This being a final, they've gone for their first choice, who was part of the Bognor Regis team who knocked Bath City out the FA Trophy in 2015 on a miserable evening. Is Fletcher inside to Cook near the edge of the penalty area. Cook trying to make room for a shot. He's blocked though, well blocked from Hunt. Smith and Holness going each other's way. Smith, and it deflects in the end off Diath for a corner. And Bath City are pressing a little bit more. Freer's going to take this corner. It's going to be an in-swinger this time from the far side. Towards that near post. Goalkeeper misses it. It's headed away from Staunton, and a follow-up one from Diath. Back to Freer, the taker on the right. Yeovil got Hunt down at the moment. He's looking a little bit woozy whether he was caught in the air, and the referee likes to stop the game for him to receive some treatment. Chesterfield-born Max Hunt played for a couple of sides up Derbyshire way, like Matlock, signed from Carlisle in January 2021.
He's sitting up now, and there's a bit of treatment going on, and he's not in excruciating pain, so that looks a bit more hopeful, but I'd be surprised with the way he banged the ground with his fist earlier, whether he'll continue to play.
Yeah, they look like they're getting a substitution prepared.
Yeah.
It's a risky ball over to the far side. It's easy intercepted from Nerfield, but his ball forward is easily robbed. Neither team really able to maintain possession. Yeovil will try to now with Everton. Now to the left-hand side with... Oh, it's just into the side of the net from Barnett via deflection, and it goes out of play for a corner. So Delaney goes back to Holness with a nice ball to Rains on halfway. To Eddie Jones. Perhaps he's looking more comfortable in possession now. That slow start. Here's Smith on the overlap. The ball in, it's inadvertently flicked, and it just gets away from Freer. Freer's going to take this throw 10 yards from the byline into the penalty area, where Fletcher is robbed. Yeovil can try and get an attack going with Everton. Sorry, with Knowles, now with Everton, the centre of the field. Floats over to the left-hand side to Reid. Takes a lovely touch inside near the edge of the penalty area. Reid, right foot in, guides it a few yards wide of Ryan Clark's left-hand post. Always had it covered. Quite a big side, so they'll be favourites in the air. As Freer whips it in. Oh, it takes a couple of deflections. I think it came last off Staunton. It could have gone anywhere. It's gone behind for a corner. That was a terrific delivery.
He's got such a cultured left foot as Elliot Freer, and that was, if next season he can produce that sort of quality for us continually, as you said earlier, and to get a few more goals.
Armenier for this corner for it, which will be an in-swinger. It's another good one. Staunton there to meet it, heads it outside the penalty area, bounces for Holness, who chests it into his path on the left. He needs a bit of support, back heels it neatly to Smith. Here we've got men back, it ball in the centre circle. He's rushed from Reid. Rains has got a lot of room on the right hand side, plays it to Freer. He's stayed there for the time being, still Freer, near the corner of the penalty area. Gets a ball in, it's cleared from Williams. Again, these deliveries are causing Yeovil a little bit of angst. The City trail by a goal to nil, just over 33 minutes gone. The 2022 Somerset Premier Cup final as Richards is held. Referee plays advantage, Fletcher central. Nice ball to Eddie Jones, just inside the penalty on the right hand side. Eddie Jones shoots and it's blocked well from Barnett. It spins behind for a corner. No, well, the assistant's about 6 yards away and didn't indicate a foul. It looked to me like Eddie Jones had appended Barnett, and the referee, around 20 yards away, agrees with me. Terrible distribution, though. It's easy intercepted from Freer. He's been involved a lot in this contest so far. To Cook, which means on the Yeovil half on the left. Smith, Freer's in room on the left-hand side. Smith has located him. Freer, you might want to pick out another cross. This time he's got it all wrong, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. That's the first time, really, Elliot Freer's got his delivery wrong, and despite the most time he had to do a telling one, Knowles picks it up. Peels a handball against Worthington. He's got away with it. It's now Reid, 25 yards out, holds off ball slides in and does well with interception, only as far as Diaz. Now to Barnett on the left-hand side. Of course, a boost because he had the nerve to go down injured a few moments ago. It sends in a decent ball, and Reid couldn't quite get his body behind it. Rains with a throw, headed away from Barnett. Cook picks it up just inside the penalty area. Back to Rains on the right hand side. Headed away from Barkley. Now to Holness, 30 yards out. Urged to shoot. He had no opportunity to really. He was well closed down, but he managed to find Fletcher near the edge of the box. Oh, you can see where he tries to do a clever ball in behind to Freer, but the Yeovil defence read it through Knowles. Referee plays an excellent advantage. They're charging forward now with Diaz. Skips away from ball down the left-hand side. Bar City have managed to get men back. They've got around 7 in their own penalty area, and Eddie Jones gets a block. And the whole flurry of black and white shirts in the way to clear as Cook goes down. And a bit of pressure from Staunton, not enough for the referee's liking. He waves play on. Mr. Jackson. Still Barkley, centre-back. Wants to do some damage at the other end, but Smith covers him well. Now to Eddie Jones on the right-hand side. He's intercepted, now it's with Nerfill on the left. Nerfill stumbles a couple of times, so he's fouled. Doing so, and Yeovil in a free kick. I think it'll be Knowles. He wants to catch out Clark. He tries to, but Clark's read it well, and he gathers it just underneath his crossbar for a good save.
Yeah, good positioning and safe handling from Ryan Clark. That's what we would expect from him.
The Irishman on the left. Cook gets a flick on to Fletcher. He's managed to escape Worthington. Opposite number 7 on this time. He's got 3 Yeovil men around him. Trying to give the Glovers a slip. Got the other side of Barkley. He plays it inside to Freer now, near the byline. Freer fizzes it across. Cook with a header. It bounces and it just grasped at the second attempt from Grant Smith. Oh, that was a good opening for our City. Cook hit it pretty well into the ground. It was in fact the final opening of the half. Yeovil will go into it the happier. They goal from Morgan Williams separates the teams on 7 minutes after Bar City didn't deal with a Tom Knowles throw. But Bar City have looked promising on the attack. Elliot Freer especially with some teasing deliveries. They haven't managed to find a leveller. Yeovil also suffered a setback in losing centre-back Max Hunt to a serious-looking ankle injury in that interval. And it's been a pretty intriguing contest as we predicted, Bob. It's Yeovil who edge it at the break. Yeovil very keen to get off the mark. Eventually we do. Holness goes back to Smith. Long ball forward, which is headed away from Staunton. So readjusted in centre-back following the injury to Hunt, and Reid is fouled. Been all around the country with a few clubs. One over the top now for Nerfill, just inside the penalty area. Tries to take it into his stride, goes for a half volley, and he puts it wide. It's kept in play from Reid on the left-hand side, shy of halfway. Side to Worthington. The ball picked up his loose ball initially, but now City could be caught over on the right-hand side. It's Knowles, cuts inside of Delaney. Knowles, great chance, he scores! Bar City were left exposed at the back, Knowles took full advantage of it. Yeovil's Player of the Year puts the Glovers 2 goals up. 48 minutes, Yeovil tying 2, Bar City 0.
And it's an early goal in each half. It's been a downfall for City. Again, they had opportunities in midfield. They got possession and lost it very quickly. Just one of those quick moments when you get hold of it and just then quickly lose it. And then they broke away. A lovely ball over to the right-hand side. And Knowles showed real composure and stepped inside. I think it was Delaney and fired past Ryan Clark.
From the level above in this 2022 Somerset Premier Cup final. Live on Bar City Radio as Rains throws it in again. Cook gets a flick on near the back post and Fletcher and trying to latch onto it. It was brave header away from Williams. Scott Jackson oversaw Somerset Premier Cup defeat to Welton in 2019 as Cook climbs high in the air. It's now Richards, chance for Richards! Thwarted by the goalkeeper, is headed back inside from Cody Cook, and the goalkeeper stood his ground. The final touch comes off him. Tom Richards, who scored on Saturday, very nearly scored again.
Yeah, he found space. It was a good flick on, and yeah, he was just being pushed toward a slightly more acute angle, and the keeper came out very quickly and smothered his effort. Elliot Freer, sorry.
Okay, but we've been bad on the inside, Bob. Freer swings it into ball, and it's just like beaten to it from Barkley. Now to Holness. Back to Eddie Jones, just inside his own. The Yeovil half. Rains miscontrols. He wins the ball back strongly to Richards. Now Holness in a bit of room on the right hand side and good covering from Worthington. The ball ricochets back off the Yeovil substitute and behind for another Bar City corner. Freer's going to take this corner, be an in-swinger. Low, driven, and met at the front post from Cook. Another appeals for a corner, but no, the final touch was off the Bar City leading marksman, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yes, that was a different type of
Rains,
corner.
in fact, sorry. Some nice draws is swung in from Barnett, and Clark claims it confidently just inside his penalty area and goes long over the top. It's not a bad ball, actually. Fletcher's interested in it. He's got there before Barkley, forced wide of the penalty area. No, Fletcher. Cook's waiting in the middle. Richards is trying to join him. Fletcher needs support behind him. He's gone back to Eddie Jones. First touch inside to Smith. Back to Jones again on the right. Trying to get the other side of his man, Jones, trying to maintain his balance, bustling his way through. He's lost possession in the end, and it's cleared as far as Nerfield on halfway. He's been held a bit from Rains, who managed to lay off to Barnett. And Nerfield gives chase, and good covering, the ball passed a little bit wayward. It's picked up from Eddie Jones now, striding through the middle to Smith. Holness on the right hand side. Eddie Jones has gone for a more central position for the time being. It's in behind, a nice ball to Cook. Hammers it across goal, Williams gets in the way. Eddie Jones is trying to get onto the loose ball now. Peels a handball. Jones across the far side, a flying header away. Smith can't bring it under control. Bar City putting on a little bit of pressure to try and force a way back into this game. Smith, it's too high for Cook, and it's well left from Barnett, and it goes behind.
Who's going to come off?
Eddie Jones, that was his final involvement.
Coming off
And then
is number 12.
Eddie Jones started the last two and substituted in the last two. And Davison Burgess, who came on Saturday, comes on for an appearance in the Somerset Premier Cup final. He got an assist in the semi-final against Froome for Cody Cook. That's a more attacking switch from Jerry Gill, which you'd expect. Just over his head, picked up from Smith on halfway, touches it to Rains. Right inside, Smith again. One over the top for Sims Burgess, first involvement near the byline. He should keep it in play. He does. He helps it back across. There's an acrobatic attempt of a volley from Richards, but he's put it around 10 yards wide.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing I thought, well, it was the right height to go for just sort of a header. And he went for the spectacular, and it was probably close to the corner flag.
I mean, trouble is, Yeovil look to break through Worthington. At the moment, it's 4 against 4, but Sims Burgess gets back well. Find its way to Worthington near the edge of the box. Now squirmed over to the right-hand side with Reed. Nerfield's waiting in the middle, as is Everton. And his ball across is too close to Ryan Clark, who sort of plays it against the chest of Rains and gathers it the second time.
There's been some real positives from the front players this season.
Positives from Yeovil's front players at the moment. Here's Knowles straining through the middle. It's an incredible run. He might want to go alone. Still Knowles shoots. And the only thing that let him down with his finish. That run was mazy. It was wonderful to watch. The finish wasn't. It was around 10 yards high and wide into that empty Thatcher's end. Now to Freer, who struggled again in the game in the second half. Yeovil have kept pace with him well. They've thwarted him. He saw he was the threat as Smith over to the right-hand side. It's missed from Barnett. Sims-Burgess tries to keep in play. Oh, that's a reckless challenge, I thought, with Barnett. He took a real chance in lunging in on Sims-Burgess. I'm grateful that he just about managed to skip out the way. It's not even a free kick. It's going to be a corner, I think. But I thought that was unnecessary. As Freer takes it. Not a bad one. It's headed away. Important one from Staunton to Holness. 30 yards out on the right-hand side. Gets in a teasing delivery. It's just too high for Cook. And in the end, it's cleared over his own shoulder from Barkley. Smith, though, Barnett trying to add some pressure and half the deficit here in the Somerset Premier Cup final. They trail by 2-0, scored from Williams and Knowles at the start of each half for the Glovers as Rains under a little bit of pressure, but he manages to play it out to Freer on the right. He might want to cut inside into his left foot. Approaching the penalty area near the byline and plays it against substitute Robinson. It's out of play for another Bath City corner. Freer, one arm in the air. Whipped in. Oh, it's now is Smith. He's completely mishit it wide as another deflection. It's gone behind for a corner. City throw, which Rains takes quickly to Smith. They haven't kept up with him. Smith whips it in. Good punch away from his namesake, Grant Smith. Now Sims-Burgess in the penalty area. And I forced out back to Holness. The first time ball in, looking for Fletcher, and the flag's gone out for offside. Went down under a little bit of pressure anyway. Sims-Burgess heads inside. Fletcher shouts to Richards to leave it, which he does. Fletcher plays it to the left to Freer. Face from Williams. Smith's on the edge of the box. City got 4 men in the penalty area, and Williams gets his body in the way. And Freer to take this corner. An out-swinger headed away at the near post. Now to Holness, 30 yards out. Asked to shoot from the Bath City fans, which wasn't a wise option. He's put it way high and wide. Now with Barkley to Nerfill on the left-hand side. Quick turn of pace, gets away from Rains. Inside the penalty area now. Nerfill wants to play it across. There's a couple of deflections, and Holness and Delaney did superbly well. Diath to whip in, should be an in-swinger. Everyone crowded just near the goal line. It's headed right to the far post. It's a free header. It's a simple goal. Bath City really slack at the back then to let that one in. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving after it as well. And it's all rather unnecessary. Incidentally, with Barkley headed it in, Ryan Clark is absolutely apoplectic at something that's gone into the penalty area, but the marking was woeful. It's going to decide the Somerset Premier Cup final for sure. In the 83rd minute, Yeovil 3, Bath City 0. Yeah,
I mean, where were the defence? I mean, it was a corner. It seems that everybody left that guy, and he was just open to for him to just head the ball easily into the net. Yes, he's been booked.
Man in yellow picks up a yellow. It's 84 minutes. I just said about Barkley, his previous goal. Had relegated a club, and his second goal for Yeovil is now surely won them silverware.
Yeah, well, that's it now, isn't it, really?
Nerfield's getting a talking to, and he's picked up a caution as well.
As I said earlier in the commentary, that's just been a problem for City at the back for most of the season, but they had seemed to have sorted it out the last few games.
Wakefield's going to give chase to this long ball over the top. Clark doesn't know where to come or go. Wakefield bring it under control. Ball gets his body in the way and does well. Another one for Wakefield, who's come on for Reed as a forward. Clark gets there and hammers it to the other end of the field. It's a little bit awkward for Staunton, but good covering from Barkley. Cook wins it near the edge of the penalty area, so he's hoping to add a consolation. They won't. Richards frustratingly lashes out, and Yeovil in a free kick on the far side.
Richards is out,
and he's been cautioned. An illustrious career in. As Richards was a battle of strength with Staunton. The City fans thought there was too much strength. They're really irate at that one, but it's just going to be a throw. But
no contest.
The referee is going to issue a caution to Jerry Gill, which gets one of the loudest applauses of the night. Fans aren't worried, they're still making some good noise up that top corner.
Nice to see.
Freer to take this corner. He's taken them all tonight. It's high. Cook gets there and he heads it over the bar. Pretty difficult for Cook, who's gone down a bit of a collision with Williams. They both look okay. Cook's on his knees at the moment. We'll see out just the last few minutes.
But they have had spells and they've been really, really impressive. And if they turn that possession and good play into goals, then it might be different.
Inadvertent flick from Rains to Wakefield. He's seen a lot of the ball since he came on. He's now near the corner of the penalty area, approaching the byline, turns back, looking at Nerfield behind him, plays it to Nerfield. Loses control. Sims Burgess gets back well and clears down the line for Fletcher. Chest it down. Did about the best he could, actually. He sort of turned, went on the floor and sliced it out of play for a throw into Yeovil. The 351 varsity fans in one of their final chants of the season.
Yeah, I imagine after this throw's taken, that will just be about it, and that will bring down the curtain on this season, the first season after the pandemic, when we've actually managed to see the whole season.
The referee wants the throw-in to be hurried up with.
There we go.
And indeed, that's the end of this one. The 2022 Somerset Premier Cup final winners are Yeovil Town by 3-0. They got off to a flyer. Morgan Williams on 7 minutes, opened the scoring after Tom Knowles' long throw wasn't clear. Tom Knowles then added the second himself on the 48th minute, where City were left exposed at the back, and the third one, a disappointing one to concede for Jerry Gill's men. Ben Barkley left completely unmarked to head home his second goal of the season and wrap up winners' medals around the Yeovil players next. Man City had a few openings themselves. Cody Cook came closest on the stroke of half-time, but Grant Smith wasn't troubled enough. And the one division gap told in the end. Yeovil Town win the Somerset Premier Cup for the 25th time, the most time in their history. Bath City's wait to reclaim that silverware goes on another year. 14 years since they last won it. But it's been a good exercise, this competition this year, Bob. They couldn't end the season on a high, but the remainder of the league one gives them optimism going into 2022-23.
Yeah, I think you're dead right with that, Mark. I think there are going to be a few changes at the football club with the personnel on the playing side, and Jerry will be looking to get the squad so that it'll be more competitive higher up the league next season. But yeah, it's been a learning curve this season. Every season's not going to be successful, and there'll be some positive signings amongst all the players. You know, Cody Cook and Alex Fletcher, just to name two. And there's the nucleus of a good side. It's just probably going to be tweaked a little bit for next season. But yeah, I mean, City players now walking over to their fans, who are, you know, rapturous in their applause towards them. They appreciate the challenges and the efforts being put in this season. And at the end of the day, I think most of us are in good spirits and hoping for a successful season next year. I just love an FA Cup run, just to add to it. You know, 10 years. We haven't seen anything, and you think by the law of averages that might happen, but the law of averages is a load of twaddle, really. And just at the end of the day, it would just be nice to have extra cash in the club as well for that. But over there, City fans really, really applauding their team, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, delightful sight over in the park corner here at Hewish Park. They've made themselves heard throughout despite the scoreline. There's only 3 defeats in 13 in all competitions at the end of the season. They reached the Somerset Premier Cup final. They weren't victorious on the night, but as we said before, recent months, anything to go by. They carry on that momentum after a little bit of a break, then they can rebuild and do better next year and finish higher up in what's going to be a very competitive division in National League side. Yeah, we're going to do the presentation in a few minutes. We will stay on air for it. There's a nice moment for Yeovil Town, who now outright most Somerset Premier Cup wins under their name. Bath City had 24 into it, as did Yeovil. Had 25th, their first in 17 years. Bath City, last time they were runners-up in the finals back in the year 2000 when they lost to Bristol City. Brian Tinian scored in that one. It was played in Clevedon. So Yeovil have home advantage for this one because of they were meant to host the 2020 final and pushed back to this year, this competition. And the officials are going to step forward to pick up their medals, which will go down well, I'm sure, as ever, the warm reception. Well, if they weren't there, there'd be no game. Bath City now step forward, pick up their medals. Dan Ball leading the way. There's over behind him. Various members of the Somerset FA committee, they're all set up in front of the players' tunnel over on the far side. And the sportingly applauded as well from the home crowd, as well as Barrow City fans making themselves heard. They've stayed behind to watch this.
Well, after coming all this way and everything, and they might as well stay 2 or 3 minutes longer just to see this happen.
Yeah, songs for Dan Ball, longest serving Barrow City player, who's just completed his 10th season for the club. The players are now going to go forward to collect their medals.
And obviously then we'll pick up the cup.
It's at the end of it, some silverware at the end of what's been a troubling campaign. As you said, next Sunday might feel like a bit of an end of an era. A lot of these players are out of contract. I don't know how many of them will be around next season with talks of a takeover. I'm sure we're going to see the sprays of champagne in a moment from the Glovers. The cup's going to be lofted any second now, I'm sure. You can hear Ole's background. And there it is, the green ribbons on the Somerset Premier Cup indicates that the 2022 final winners are Yeovil Town. Congratulations to their National League side. Prevail over National League side, this long-standing rivalry. And thank you very much for tuning in tonight and for the whole of this season, from myself, Mark Stillman, and from Bob Chester, and from all of us who have covered games on Barrow City Radio this season. Enjoy your summer. We'll see you all again very soon.